Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's newsroom. As the festive season is coming, Naga people are all gearing up for Christmas and New Year. But for this celebration, our Nagas are into all activities to save up some money for that grand day. While some Nagas are out there doing daily wage jobs, working part-time or even helping out to earn a little pocket money, there's also a huge contingent of Nagas that are using various applications on the internet to earn some quick bucks. And not all of them will be celebrating this year. Around 24th or 25th of October this week, the Nagaland police released a press statement in which it informed the Naga public that the app RGA was a scam and that those people investing in it were being duped of their money. The news sent shockwaves to the RGA community as many Nagas had already invested in this scam app. Naga people have lost thousands and some even lakhs investing in this app, yet what the law holds next is yet to be ascertained. In today's special newsroom, we will delve into the details of this RGA scam and also what this app called RGA is, and also try and understand the mindset of the Nagas as to why they blindly believe in such schemes and if history has never taught them a lesson in this regard. And on this topic, we've got two special guests. We've got our reporter Kekrisenu Kewo, who's reporting from the ground, and we've got our associate editor Alngoli, who will be speaking to us from the newsroom itself, and we'll delve directly into the conversation. Thank you both of you for joining me on this special newsroom. Well, coming to you, Akre, first of all, could you enlighten our viewers as to what this RGA scam is and how this actually got busted up to be called a scam, and how thousands of Nagas are now affected by this online scam, or rather the RGA investment scam?
Why is it funny? Because this is not the first time a scam like this is happening in Nagaland. First now, maybe 3-4 years ago, maybe AIG the same earning app, and all of these Ponzi Scheme laga under the alag variations kani ase itu scam laga. Ponzi Scheme do ki ase RGA na AIG na ASO koigene ekta ase kundu huni pa hisab kitui ba kali rati bra bomb hoi jaise ko ase aru kumba ko ase aji morning bra bomb hoi jaise. So all of these three schemes scam understand kuribole mon ase kole first the Ponzi Scheme do ki ase itu janibo lage. So aki mohan bawa saigene jaile to Ponzi Scheme do ekta fraud laga scheme ase kore fraudsters kan manuhan je a certain amount invest kuri koi aru a certain amount invest kurile do tai khan je promising them to give in return more than the amount they have invested. Aru saigene jaile do RGA de will be around 1,800 invest kuise tare laga itu RGA la community kan. ASO saigene jaile do tare do 2,500 2,800 1,800 koine alag ase. The more you invest, the more you get your cash back in return. Inega like that. In fact, this is tempting people to invest in terms of lakhs. Moi kan jwa kali rati ekjon ge kotha kura do tai pra kwa do tai laga anti ekta in terms of lakhs invest kurise aru itu in terms of lakhs invest kura la de tai bi invest kuri gene tai la cashback bi wapas na pai gene tai paisa do khotom hoi jala bi itu RGA laga app to khotom hoi jala bi janai dia je. To moi khan itu Ponzi scheme to bhal bra sai gene jaile to Nagaland la police pra holibi apni janai dia nishna date 25 te itu laga upor regular case ekta bi register kuri dishe ko ase tai khan pra kwa hisab hoilo to tai khan laga online portal de manu bishi complain bi kuri ja. In fact, Nagaland ekla de holibi in terms of thousands users asnigi koigene bhapna ase itu RGA laga mohan telegram itu RGA official koigene telegram de RGA laga official tai khan laga link te jaigene saile do more than 15,000 followers as they itu telegram ekla de holibi itu RGA laga official website. To maybe itu 15,000 bitor de in terms of 1,000 hopefully chance ase moi kan itia yare manu laga feedback khan bi huni gene
ja hisab hoile to itu ponzi scheme hoile to future de bi ahi hole bi chance ase poila de bi ahi thaga nishna to itu inega scheme ahi thaga nishna kiman invest kuribo iman hi bishi pawo karne manuhan starting de hoile to regular amount 1500 1800 kan hi invest kore but out of greed aru easy money karne ta khan bi aru bi bishi invest kure ala bi cases kan bi thagi jai aru all of this falls under the Ponzi scheme itu karne manu ekjon aware thagi ole mon ase koile to itu Ponzi scheme ki ase itu jani jaile to whatever kind of scam comes tahan itu inega scam nishna han ahile to manu buji jawole bi chances ase police pra manuhan ke itia tak bi helpline number de tai khan thik kine ka problems kan face kuri gene jai she tu kan bi describe kuri wole diwole la janai dia nishna yere Nagaland holi bi victims bi shibi itu laga case te tai kan laga bhapna share kura aru incidents tai khan ke thik ki hoise itu bi share kuri she one ekta jwa kali bi I did the same report where 6 mile de RGA kanto they went to the extent of opening an office there aru mo khan visuals te man itia bi play kuri thayu itu visuals te holi bi manu khan 5 to 6 of them jaigine jama kuri gene office inaugurate kura laga ekjon office inaugurate kuri she dusra manu khan bi jaigine itu celebration de part take kura itu ekla nele mohan Nagaland laga church leader nijor ekta bi jaigine RGA laga office ekta inaugurate kura ase koi ne video circulate kura manu khan itu de describe ina kura laga bi ase so what is the most concerning part is the fact that there are some people who are still saying that mohan jua kalila report te holibi manu laga thoughts kan share kura manu kwa do they are still willing to join ina kwa ase tai khan laga capital laga upor kamao parile to tai khan join kuri gina bon hoi jawo dibi na kwa laga bi ase huli bon yare akibal ra sai gene jaile to you are putting your own bank account and your personal details at risk apni la personal details kan age apni la gender kan di dile manu apni la identity bi cholawole bi chances ase same as bank account kan de hole bi apni la bank details kan dile to itu kan bi hack hole bi high chances ase itu karne manu kan itu kan na bhabi gene itia tak bi kumba manu do lesson learn na kura laga bi ase and this is one very concerning thing of RGA ASOO which all falls under the Ponzi scheme aki.
All right, thank you, Akri, for that. And now coming back to our associate editor, Al Muli. Sir, just a few months back, Hornbill TV and also there was a huge revelation of a rupees 2,200 plus crore fraud in the state of Assam, our neighboring state. And now all of a sudden, just 3-4 days back, now we've got another RGA scam now that has now affected a lot of Nagas who have already invested in this scam app, and now there is a big question mark as to whether those investments will actually be returned to them. Now coming back to the Ponzi scheme, or rather what our reporter K. Senio had said, that Ponzi schemes are not new in Nagaland. Before, it used to be membership through taking registration papers, writing down the name in serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, in which people invest money and then your downline keeps getting longer and then you keep getting more interest. And now it has evolved into the online form where you now enter, you have to log in, you've got your own username, you've got your password, and through which you avail certain facilities. Sir, in this regard, what I wanted to ask you, since this is the topic that we are speaking about, which is the mindset of the Nagas, in which we are attracted to easy money, not only Nagas, but why is it that Nagas are a group of majority that usually fall into traps like this? Back then also it used to happen where a lot of people, thousands of people got affected by it, in which in those schemes you would, in return you would get buckets, you would get tubs, you would get dikchis or cooking utensils, and now it's now come to about returns in terms of cash or kind, or rather basically monetary incentive. Do you believe that with the evolving change of scene, with also now with the advent of internet, do you feel that these certain scams like the Ponzi schemes are now also evolving according with time? And why do you think we Nagas are the majority group that are always the one who are caught into a web of scams, sir?
Okay, it's unfortunate that some of our people had to fall prey to this.
Yes.
And if you look at the history of Ponzi schemes across the world,
yes,
It's not a new thing. It's not only the Naga people,
Yes.
but everywhere. In fact, Charles Ponzi, the scamster, as far back as 1920, was one of the biggest scamsters during that age, and I think he made about $15 million in just about 8 months. So it's like a pyramid scheme, and we have not learned from that. I'm talking about something that happened in 1920. There is Charles Madoff, who made about $300 million in just about a year. And then you have the old manager of the boy band Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC. What is his name? Charles Perlman. He made about $300 million in just about a year with all his Ponzi schemes. So while I will not say that the Nagas here are the ones most vulnerable to falling to this kind of schemes, it's everywhere, but I would say it's easier for us again. The reason is that, first thing, when you come from a community and state that has no industrial backup, we don't have an economic life, we don't have industries translated, there's a lot of unemployment. And the living standards of our communities, even the lower salaried communities, the lower middle class, is difficult for us to keep up with the changing times, the changing economic times, our increasing living standards. Our salaries are not increasing, but our living standards are. Things are getting costlier and more expensive for the people. So when you take this kind of an economic interaction and then you put it with, within a context where you are promised free money, okay, or easy money, then I think that's a very heady mixture, which is, of course, obviously expected to blow up in one way or the other. So first thing is our economic conditions, and I'm told that most of the people who invested in this RGA, and what was the other one, AIG, and another one called ASO, Akray was mentioning just a while ago, all of them use the same tactic, all of them use the same marketing strategies, and all of them seem to attract the same kind of people. So I'm not saying, yes, it's only the companies that are at fault, but it's also in a way forced on us by our lifestyle, by our economic conditions. So that is first. Second thing is, and I will keep on saying this maybe for the next 50 years, our youth, especially our youth and our mothers, the senior generations, they discovered the world only after the pandemic. And you know what I'm trying to say? When the pandemic happened, that was the time we truly, at the level of the soul, connected to the world outside through the internet. Suddenly the world opened to us, the cultures opened to us. I'm not saying it was not so before that. I'm just saying people who were not in touch with the literary side of the people, with the economic side of the world, with world politics, or international relationships, or how cultures work outside. So I'm not saying that it was just recently, but I'm just saying, especially for the young demographic, we were introduced to the world beyond our small college community, our family community, our immediate locality. So you are introduced to all these amazing aspects of economic living, making money. You know, you have the American 19-year-old entrepreneurs who make $50-60 in 2-3 weeks, 50-60 millions in 2-3 weeks. We are in touch with this kind of stories in humanity. So it's easier for us to pursue dreams that we feel that we are within our sight because someone offered us easy and quick money. So that is second. So third one, we are not really educated. And even when we say educated, I'm not talking about people who went to schools or colleges. We are not educated in a sense, we do not look and read behind the lines. It's easy for us to disregard any thought of looking for extra information when somebody tells you something. If the newspaper says something, then you believe it. You just let it be. You just go with the flow. It's called a herd mentality. So people, if someone comes along saying if you put in 100 and you're going to get 20,000 rupees in the next 5 minutes, and then another person says the same thing, it's easier for you to fall back on your confirmation bias. Yes. It's very easy. When 10 people in your immediate sphere of influence is accepting of the fact that you can make $20,000 dollars out for $1 that you invested, it's easier for people to be caught in that net. So we follow everywhere because we don't look at, we don't question what is presented before you. We don't look beyond the lines that is print in the fine print. We don't really ask questions in this regard, and that's why it's easier. We watch TV for news. We don't ask questions. You just criticize the reporters. You just make fun of them. You don't listen to the information. So that is the kind of minds that we have, Akive. So it could be Ponzi schemes, it could be anything. I'm not saying that one day eventually all of this will grow old and we will get used to it. I'm just saying that we don't give ourselves the opportunity to ask beyond what is presented to you. We don't ask, we don't seek, investigate, we don't question if it is right or wrong. And most importantly of all, good money is always hard money. Yes. There is no easy way to it.
All right. Coming back to you, K. Cristiano, you had just mentioned about how some people have lost lakhs of money, some people had put in their whole investment, and now with the festive season coming, it's a very sad news to hear. So in this regard, Akre, what is the latest action by the police? Has the police confirmed the latest updates as to what the investigation is leading into? Because I think with today being the 26th, it's already been about 2 days. So is there any latest update, and has the police also given any sort of a saving grace for those affected people who have already invested in the RGA scam?
Inado regular case ekta do register kuri digina ase based on the complaints on their online portal, police laga online portal de hoile bi itia tak sadly police khando iku positive ineka respond to ahyala dikhi panoe hoi tahan bi itu laga uporde kam khando kuri thagiwo, but itia tak to ineka duriala case to komti ase mohan aki na India re huli bi aru dusra country khande saigene jaile bi ekta sobse digdar mohan cases khan saigene jaile do scam laga na fraudsters online fraud laga hoile do durule bi bishi digdar thake aru most of the time cases itu khande huli manu duriwo na pari jala cases khan bi thagi jai huli bi hopefully itia I'm sure RGA laga bi complaints khan kurigena against the fraudsters of RGA itu laga case to file kuri dia nishna joa kali pra shuru kuri gene ASO koi gene dusra ekta online scam laga se same which falls under the Ponzi scheme. Itu bi manuhan I'm sure inega case can be register bi kurule chance ase na online portals can be complaint kurule chance ase to police kan hoile bi itu laga sob bi aro research can be kurine jawo lagiwo aro culprits can gi hoile bi trace can be kurigene jawo lagiwo hoile bi kiman bar ina scams kan ahi thagiwo iman bar naga manu hoile bi itula victim hoi thagile do kiman diri inega culprits kan gi bi durigene jawo na kiman diri itu case kan de Nagaland police kan bi public laga ignorance karne ina case kan de deal kuro thagiwo deal kurle try kuri thagiwo ekta dangor sawal ase aki man saigene jaile do दूसरा होय ऑनलाइन पोर्टल कांदे cases tahana problems kan kwa hando Allah kase or there might be some of them there as well holiwe mohan itya yere saigene jaile do in terms of 2 lakhs in terms of 5 lakhs inia invest kura hando jaigena police station de hulibi FIR lodge kura la stories kando iku naide tan ita tak to kun bi jaigena asola ina case file kura la police kan la site to ina iku information ahya noi. Is it that they are also aware of their mistakes or tai khan hi ina hopelessly give up kuri dia culprits kan durule na paruni koine give up kuri dia laga si itu ekta bi sawal ase aki aru mohan dusra case te hoile do इतिया भी दूसरा हुनी पा हिसाब होले तो अलग आरो पोंजी स्कैम निशना पोंजी स्कीम निशना इतिया भी स्कैम्स कुनबा लर्क करे से मानु इतिया तक भी नतुन इनेगा अर्निंग एप्स कांदे मानुहांगी इतिया तक भी जॉइन करू बोले ट्राई कराइस दे आरो पुलिस खान भी इतु लगा ऊपर नोटिफिकेशंस खान भी दिया जे मान अपनी कोई दिया निशना 2 ना 3 डेज हुई जैसे पुलिस खान एकता रेगुलर केस रजिस्टर को मान अजी होली भी पड़े तक पुलिस खान लगा के Nagaland police ke huli bi itu laga upor iku development asna na itu han bi hudi gine jabo huli bi very sadly aki itia tak to itu laga case te iku development notun aha na police kan notun breakthrough pa inala do case na ide aki itia tak to no update so far.
Acha Akhri, now coming back to you again very shortly, itu particular RGA scam there, can you give us the age groups as to what kind of age groups have been affected by the RGA scam? Like, you've spoken to a few victims, so what do you think would be the normal age groups of people that have been affected by this scam?
Okay, mohan saigene jaile to very sadly aro unexpected bi kole pare kuma manu do aro kuma manu expected kole paruli bishi bak to itu 30 and above kan hi itu debi bishi involve hua laga bi mohan dikhi pas de aki mohan saigene jaile do in terms of 2-3 lakhs haria hando mainly itu majority of them do 30 above kan ase very much adults kan ase mohan video circulate hoi thaga itu church leader agent jaigene pratna kuria la de holibi aro yare 6 mile itself mohan joa kali jaigene ground report kuria la de holibi majority do adults 30 or 30 above aro saigene jaile do there have been 2 or 3 cases where itu homemakers kan amma khan hulibi itu they involve hwala cases can be as they itu garne most of them are adults and I'm Mohanbal saigene jaile do many of them are in fact fully aware of what they have done itu garne ekta itu be concerning ekta se moi agere site kuri dia nishna manu hando inega earning app aru anile do join kurule ready ase ko han itu han do loss iman khana wala itu bar itu garne inia kotha han bi ko ase wala hoilibi kali hoilibi itu la upor kotha kuri thaka homoy itia kun responsible ase itu earning app to scam do hoy fraudsters kan pra banai dishe hoilibi initiate kuri gena ineka manu khan laga bitorde circulate kuria aro ekta line sob manu laga bitor de holibi itu app laga jankari do manu ge di taka khan bi responsible ase itu khan bi ekta sawal ase mohan saigene jaile do tai khan laga online RGA laga official website te holibi tadi sob se bishi information RGA laga holibi aru manu join kura do RGA laga official website which is now no longer working itu laga de hi bishi bakto in terms of thousands and thousands manu tati hi active hwase kwase however itu la link hoilibi na itu laga information share kuria manu khan bi responsible hobo na nai tai khan bi guilty hobo na nai itu bi ekta sawal as de aki mohan kali itu discuss kura la hoilibi police kan khali itu fraudsters online itu app bana khan ekla ke bisari thagiwo na yare larger hand manu naga manu ke influence kora nijor naga manu la bitore influence kora han bi itula case te responsible hoy itu tabi sawal ase man paratak aji itu responsible itu law enforcing agencies kan gibi itula por kotha korle kushish kurwa ki back to you.
All right, so coming back to you now, sir, I mean with the advent of technology and especially with the amount of phones that are out in the market today, a mobile phone is a very personal gadget where it is basically an identity of you. Do you believe that with the advent of mobile phones, with the fact that we get so many scam messages stating that get a job for 50,000 working at home, we get various messages in various phones. Do you believe that with such scams, not only talking about Ponzi scams, but also online scams and individual scams, and also scams through messaging, scams through social media, scams through various apps, do you believe the personal intimacy that a person shares with his technology? Because say I get a message that states that get a job for 45,000 working at home, you would have got another message stating get a job for 1 lakh just working from home. So there is this certain sense of secrecy that we don't want to, and we want to apply it by ourselves. So do you believe that this this one strange intimacy that a phone and a individual has could also be a growing concern? Because out of curiosity, you might just press the link, which will then just make you fall prey into such scams and fraud. Do you believe that this could also be another factor which is a rising concern?
Yeah, definitely, Akivi. The more progress that technology makes,
Yes.
scamsters and cheaters and criminals will always be one step ahead of that progress. So, as the devices and the means towards accumulating wealth, easy money, as they progress and as they advance, so will the techniques that is used to lure into it will also advance. So we are constantly regulated by our schedule, that in a way that we have to depend on technology nowadays to keep us conscious of everything that is going on around us. And it's easy for us to develop a kind of relations with our phone in that sense, where we sometimes feel that the authentic side of us is as we have created with the means of our living. For example, it could be TV, it could be magazines, it could be mobile phones. So our interaction has led to the creation of an artificial kind of authenticity, if I may call it so, an artificial kind of authenticity here, where we believe, or where we believe only the means of our living. So that is why it's easier for us to fall into this kind of traps. But like I said, there will be more and more sophisticated ways that scamsters will keep on using to steal your money. I just talked about something that happened way back 1920.
Yes.
Before, when cars were when even cars and telephones were not common. So it's still going on and people are still falling prey to it. With technology, scamsters will also be a step ahead of it, because if they are not a step ahead of it, there's no way they can make money and they wouldn't be able to do business, which means they will be out of business.
All right, just very short, as we seem to be running out of time. So, all right, the fraudsters are getting smart. How do you believe the consumers would get even smarter?
Read more.
All right.
Read more.
All right, so thank you so much, Al Muli, and thank you so much, Kikrisenio, for giving us the latest update on the RGA scam, where thousands of Nagas have fallen prey into, and unfortunately, I don't think, or the police nor the executive body or the people responsible have not given a confirmation as to whether the investments that have been made up to the 25th or 24th of October will return to its rightful owners. But this is a growing alarm and this is a growing menace, where a lot of our people are falling prey into such online fraud and scams, in which their hard-earned money is being utilized into going into someone else's pocket but not coming back. Well, commercially and economically, there is no viable scheme which states that if you give 100 rupees, the returns will come back tenfolds, or rather your return would be 1,000, and that too in a week or two. That is completely unviable. So in the future, like our associate editor Al Muli had said, with the advent of technology and with the evolution of technology, the scams, the Ponzi schemes, the online frauds are only going to get even more sophisticated. In this regard, consumers and people who are aware and who are exposed to such apps and scams should read more and should be aware of their own surroundings and should believe in the correct commercially and economic viable situation as to how they can grow their money, but not through such online fraud and scams and apps, but through the legal right in which the RBI states. Well, Hornbill TV will be getting you more info on such topics like this, so keep watching Hornbill TV.